Hey, welcome back. I'm Jana with Purl Together. Recently, I uploaded a video telling you about the What's Your Story wrap and the 8-week series that's coming up where I'm going to help you plan and design a wrap that tells your story. I also promised I would tell you the story of my wrap, but before I get started with that, I want to give a big shout out and a hearty thank you to a bunch of new patrons that has joined us in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So thanks so much for supporting the channel. Anne, Rachel, Ginny, Cindy, Laurie, Evelyn, Michelle, and Susan. Thanks so much for choosing to support this channel and help keep videos coming to you each and every week. I couldn't do without you. Patrons are what makes the videos happen, right? It gives these pledges, these voluntary monthly pledges, give me the little bit of boost of income that I need to keep the equipment going, keep the lights on, so to speak, and keep these videos coming to you each and every week. So if you're interested in what I offer for your patronage, head on over to patreon.com/Purl Together, and you can see what I'm offering, including patron knit nights, discounts on events and classes, just like this one coming up. So starting November 1st, we're going to be having an 8-week series where I will help you knit your story wrap. So it's called What's Your Story, to encourage you to be inspired by an experience, a journey, or just your favorite stitches. So I'll explain to you what my story is with this particular wrap, and then I'm going to start a new one. I'm going to start another one to knit along with you during our 8-week session together. So what you get in that 8 weeks is help designing and planning, making sure your stitch counts work, making sure you have borders that work right for your pattern. For example, I started mine with this traditional Shetland lace pattern, and I have a border here and a border on the edge. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the repeats and the stitch counts. And then we'll meet each week for 8 weeks on Monday, beginning Monday, November 1st. And you'll get to know the people in your class. You'll make some knitter friends, right? And it's like being able to sit around your knit shop, the table at your knit store, pre-COVID, and be able to hang out with people that have similar interests and may even live near you. Who knows? So it's a lot of fun to have that weekly commitment and see everyone's project and become inspired by what other people are doing. So again, that begins November 1st. I'll put a link down below where you can sign up for the Purl Together Collective. That's what I chose to call it. So I'm collecting all of you pearls, and we're going to spend some time together and plan your wrap. And also you'll have encouragement and momentum because it's a big project. And sometimes we need a little nudge to keep going with that and to carry on with it and to not let it become a never-ending hibernating whip. So join me for that. And I'm going to tell you the story of mine. This whole piece is based upon a backpacking trip I went on in the Cloud Peak Wilderness. The Cloud Peak Wilderness is a part of the Rocky Mountains, and much of this trail was above 9,500 feet. Much of it was above 10,000 feet in the Rocky Mountains in north central Wyoming. The Cloud Peak Wilderness is just west of Buffalo, Wyoming, if you're familiar with the area. And it was a 65-mile loop that a friend and I completed in August. I'll insert some photos and maybe a little bit of video as we go through the story. When we very first started the trail, we noticed that there were people that were like the old school packers, like mule trains, where they would be outfitters and they would pack up their mules with, the big canvas wall tents and the cast iron skillets and all this stuff. And they would have clients that they would take into the backcountry. They have their dog. It's really neat. So we knew we were following a trail that had a lot of packer activity or outfitter activity on it because we saw lots and lots of horse prints, right? Horseshoe prints from the metal horseshoes that they were wearing, that the horses wear. But also, there was a lot of horse apples and poop on the trail. But it also helped us keep track of knowing we were on the correct trail. We're on the right trail because we saw evidence all the time of the horseshoe prints and the poop. So it was kind of comforting, really, just to know that if we were in sections that weren't very well marked, that we saw those horse prints and we knew we were on a well-traveled trail. So So this is, and I just like the pattern. So this is the traditional shell and horseshoe lace pattern. So I did that for the first section. And then here's my delineation here. And then the second section was all about the waterfalls. There were some, oh, looks like I have an end I neglected to get, but it was all about the waterfalls. So I really enjoyed the waterfalls in this trail. There was a creek or a river, various ones that we followed. And it was fantastic. And that comforting sound of a stream in your tent at night, you know, I just really enjoyed that. That we had several creek crossings where we had to take off our shoes and we'd get wet and we'd have to put our shoes back on. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun and it was beautiful. It was just amazing. So lots of people fishing, fly fishing. Then there were, you know, like I said, the streams and the small waterfalls. There were even some big waterfalls. I'll put in a photo of that. So then my next section is the Sweet Violet lace. Here we go. Let me find this for you. The Sweet Violet lace is it's a pretty simple eyelet section. It's really pretty straightforward to knit, but this is because the wildflowers in the Rocky Mountains at this time of the year were brilliant. I mean, it was like the Sound of Music, breathtaking. I know that sounds cliche, but it really was amazing. And the friend I was with, we would stop every so often and we would take close-up pictures of these little tiny wildflowers, and just the variety was fantastic. So this is just remembering those amazing wildflowers in the, you know, higher elevations of the Rockies in August. So then I chose to finish my wrap with the horseshoe lace, because particularly the last day and a half of our hike, we really appreciated that. We were starting to get tired. We knew we were almost done and we just really needed that guidance. And sure enough, there was one time when we kind of lost the trail and we went off on this little game trail. I think it was like a deer trail. And we're like, oh, I don't know. This doesn't really seem right. I don't see any more poop. I don't see any horse prints. I don't really know. And sure enough, we were off track. So we backtracked and we found the correct path where the horses had been, and we knew we were headed back to the trailhead where we began. Actually contained a corral for the outfitters, so we knew the horses were going the right way. So I chose, I thought it was appropriate to end my wrap with that as well. So I really enjoyed making this. I think it's lovely. I love the color. For those of you that haven't been following along, this is Hazelnut's Artisan Sock in the color Iris. So that's lovely. Okay, so what we're going to do is meet up on November 1st, and we're going to start the planning process so you can create your own story wrap. So if you're interested in joining me, there's a link down below. It's $90 for all 8 weeks. I think that's totally reasonable. It's less than the cost of a movie per week. So head over there and sign up, and I'll see you November 1st in our first collective. We'll meet on Zoom. So it'll be a live interactive class with me and however many other people show up. And so I'd really love to see you there. Shoot me a message if you have any questions, leave a comment down below, or join me over in the Facebook and the Ravelry group, and I'm happy to answer your questions there. All of the links are down below. Thanks for watching.